Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's morning meditation. And today we are going to be talking about the taste of freedom. This is Kanupriya from Peace Village Learning and Retreat Center of the Brahma Kumaris, based in New York, in America. And freedom, when we talk about freedom, we really are looking at independence, and it's not the kind of freedom that we talk about in terms of maybe in the physical sense that we are free to live somewhere, or financial freedom, or whatever else, but we are more talking about freedom of the mind. And if the mind were to be made free, then all other sorts of freedom or independence automatically comes. Now we all like to be free, right? But it's very important for us to understand what is it that blocks our freedom. And like we said, that it is independence, equivalent to independence. So something that is blocking the freedom, meaning that we are being dependent on something or someone. And while some kind of material thing dependence may be easier for us to tackle with, but dependency in relationships is a bit more, we have to work on it a bit more. uh, but it can be very easy if we understand why we are creating that dependency. Then it's easy for us to find a solution. So the dependency, if you really look at it, dependencies come when there is an expectation of something, of someone, that this one will do something like this, and that is what will give me happiness. Or I need to feel loved, so that is what this one should do. And that dependency and is created because of some, or expectation is created because of some desire from our side. And it may sound very simple, the desire may sound very simple, that, oh, this is a close relative of mine, so they are supposed to do like this, right? It seems very justifiable, but nonetheless, it is a desire at the end of the day. And desire comes from a space where there is emptiness and something is lacking. So when you need something is when you create some kind of desire, which leads to dependencies, and then that blocks our freedom. So to understand this process really helps us now um, to come to a solution, or to come to a space where we are able to look at the root. And the root, like you're seeing, is this feeling of lacking something or emptiness, which is blocking our freedom, really. And so what do we do with the spiritual wisdom that we are gaining here? We are trying to come back to our reality, which is that of this tiny point of light, the soul, who is actually, full of everything, always, forever, because this soul, the tiny point of light, is eternal and immortal. It cannot be touched, it cannot be harmed in any way. So that lack and that need then is fulfilled if we come back into the awareness of who we really are. And that brings about immense amount of freedom. And um, to illustrate further, there is an example of, I or a few years back, I visited a bird zoo, and there were, little birds, big birds, all kinds of exotic birds from all over the world in that bird zoo. And the problem, or what I noticed or observed, is that there were some birds which were in little cages, so that they have a little area to fly around, but there were some birds who had bigger cages, right? So they had more area to fly around, but it is still not the same as the freedom of the sky, right? A cage is a cage, however big the cage is, or however beautiful the cage is. It may be a cage made out of gold, but still it is a cage. So we need to really check whether we are being trapped or deceived by any of the cages, which really blocks our freedom of the unlimited, of the real, and of the sky. And I gave the bird example, but we may get stuck with, oh, this relationship is so good, so there is freedom in this relationship, right? Or I have a big house, so that provides me some kind of security, or I feel the feeling of being full in that sense, in terms of where I'm living. But still, at the end of the day, our reality is beyond the physical. And the more we come into that awareness, even though we may have a big house, even though we may have a good relationship, but internally we will develop this attitude of not being dependent, which actually enhances our attitude of freedom towards life. And then there is only happiness that can be experienced in this state of being free, the mind being free. So hope we can, you all can join for a short meditation on this topic of freedom. So let us all first sit back and relax. And observing the world outside, just observing. And we keep a simple aim to withdraw from the outside world. And in this moment, we take a minute to connect with that point of light, the soul. And we see with the mind the reality of this point of light. And the reality is that this point of light is actually free. He's free from this body and also free from this whole world of matter. He is like a free tourist. He's just using this body and using all the objects and relationships and interactions with nature, etc. Everything is for a temporary period of time. And in this world of matter, the place that he's visiting temporarily, he sees clearly that he's not creating any desires or expectations. He finds it strange to create any desires and expectations in this world of matter, because he knows it is changing and it is unpredictable. That is the law that governs this whole physical world. He's aware of his true home, the home of this eternal, invisible tourist. That home is a world of silence, where there are no vibrations of any desires or expectations. This guest, this invisible tourist, is completely content in his own immortality. And he can see this spiritual home very clearly. The spiritual home is like the open sky where the soul can fly. The sky beckons. And so does the spiritual family, the spiritual parent, the supreme being of light, beckons the soul to explore this unlimited freedom. And this invisible tourist can soar into the vast dimension with his two wings, the wing of love and wing of enthusiasm. The love of the Supreme, the real love. That love is what draws this invisible tourist to come back home. And the freedom of the sky, the taste of this freedom is unparalleled. He does not feel satisfied or get stuck in the freedom of a bigger cage or a golden cage. He knows the difference. Difference between the unlimited and the limited. He's aware that he doesn't need anything from the world of cage, the physical world. The invisible tourist exists forever. In this subtle dimension, the dimension of light also exists forever. It is in this home that the invisible tourist is in an experience of not needing anything, not lacking anything. There is perfection in this world. He's mesmerized by the beauty of the home. He feels very full, content, and secure. There is nothing else that he needs. He's full of peace and love. And all that remains then is true freedom to be happy always. And so for the rest of the evening and for the rest of the day, we keep in our awareness this option that we have. The option to be free. This taste of freedom, of the unlimited sky, gives us a sense and clarity of not being stuck in limited freedom. And so we use this option through the rest of the day to remain free. Thank you for listening in, and we'll meet again very soon. Hope you all have a very good day ahead. Om Shanti.